An invisible wall separates some people from romantic love, not by choice, but by a complex psychological mechanism. We are exploring the psychology of those who no longer fall in love. They feel affection and attraction, but the giddy thrill fades away. Often, this detachment is armor forged by experience. The core issue: intense fear of emotional vulnerability. A history of painful breakups or repeated betrayals traumatizes the emotional system. The brain registers love as a potential threat signal. We are talking about emotional fatigue or affective emotional exhaustion. Every failed attempt cost psychic energy. At a certain point, the cost of the emotional investment is perceived as too high. They adopt a strategy of actively avoiding committed romantic situations. Protection becomes the unconscious's absolute priority. Their attachment style often evolves into the avoidant or disorganized profile. They maintain a critical distance to ensure their autonomy and security. Psychologically, they excel at the deactivation of nascent attachment signals. As soon as a bond starts to form, a mechanism of self-sabotage can be triggered. They find flaws or logical reasons to justify emotional withdrawal. This allows them to regain control of the situation. They can rationalize their emotions to make them manageable. Passion is replaced by deep friendship or simple convenience. Their focus shifts from merging intimacy to functional stability. Another cause is the excessive idealization of love. They hold an idealized vision of the perfect relationship. No actual relationship, imperfect by nature, can rival this internal standard. This is reinforced by popular culture and mediated narratives. They unconsciously look for evidence that the person is not the right one. This fault-finding justifies their withdrawal and their lack of deep commitment. It is a self-fulfilling prophecy of romantic failure. The brain is conditioned to perceive romance as a mirage or a dangerous illusion. This inability to fall in love is also linked to a loss of trust in the other person. But more profoundly, it is a loss of confidence in their own judgment. They believe they will always choose the wrong person, or that they do not deserve stability. They are building walls of distrust so they are never caught off guard. The limbic system, responsible for intense emotions, is put into forced standby. The dopamine and oxytocin mechanisms linked to the infatuation phase are blocked. This psychological armor offers security against risk, but it comes at the cost of emotional isolation. They often experience a dull loneliness, even when they are well surrounded. The absence of this risk also prevents access to intense emotional rewards. Emotional life becomes flat, predictable, and controlled. The desire for true intimacy always remains, but the fear of loss is stronger. How to break this cycle of overprotection? Healing begins by recognizing the initial source of fear and pain. We must identify the patterns that systematically lead to self-sabotage. The goal is to relearn how to tolerate uncertainty and healthy vulnerability. It is a slow process of dismantling the defenses. Therapy and mindfulness help unpack automatic responses. The distinction must be made between a real danger and a reactivated traumatic memory. The goal is not to fall again uncontrollably, but to consciously choose to open the door brick by brick, to accept that loving always involves an element of risk and letting go. Regaining the capacity to love requires first and foremost feeling secure within oneself. Forgiving oneself for past failures is the first step to free the heart. Love is not a magical event, but a repeated decision. trusting the other and one's own resilience. The path to openness is long, but it leads to an authentic and deep connection.